The snow, you managed to save most of the carts. This last one, you can see as you like look back, you see one of the caravan carts like shout out before they get completely crushed by the snowfall. What would you like to do? Anything in particular?
Does it look like the danger has now passed?
As the snow starts to settle, it does, for the most part, appear that you made it out.
Can I look for survivors to look if anyone from that cart managed to survive the avalanche?
Go for it. Yeah, go ahead and make an investigation check. Oh.
Yep, yeah, that's
They're
really good.
buried in hundreds of feet of snow at this point. Like the snow caps in the mountains were pretty intense.
Did we get onto the mountain? Everybody died.
So Velen turns to you all and says, This is terrible. I was expecting to be able to send missives back to the Arcane Brotherhood. This is a lot of snow that is blocking our path. Hopefully we'll be able to get out again. I think for now we're stuck here, friends. As we make the most of it for the time being.
Do we know what happened to the previous group? I mean, Velen, can you tell us what happened to the previous group?
She says, honestly, we lost contact with them weeks ago. I don't know if they're still around or if they just stopped sending messages. Here's the problem. Some of the members of the Arcane Brotherhood are, I'll be honest with you, are a little self-serving, a little egotistical. These people may not care. Maybe there's no issue at all. Maybe they're still around. Who knows? Maybe they got eaten by something. Who knows? I think that is our purpose. We need to figure out what exactly is wrong. Maybe it's got something to do with this darkness overhead. It's difficult to say. But we've just lost contact with them. We have no idea where they are.
What were they doing up here?
They were here in order to locate magical artifacts. That is one thing about this area, this Icewind Dale, is there is a long history of very powerful, very ancient magical artifacts uncovered here. So they were seeking for some more. They were seeking for more for themselves, likely, but
anything in particular they were looking for? Where they were sent here by the Arcane Brotherhood, right? Were they looking for anything in particular?
No, not anything in particular. It's more of what can we find. You know, it's a lot of the area. Yes, of course, has been well searched, I should say. But at the same time, this place is such a desolate landscape. I mean, look. And as you kind of move out of the forest and across the river, you can just see this endless snowy fields in front of you as you move away from the blizzard that had swept over the spine of the world. She says, who knows what could be out there? Who knows what you may find? There is much and more that you could learn just from these snowdrifts. Who knows? So you progress up the 10 trails towards the town of Bryn Shander. Large circular walled complex of Bryn Shander. You can see the gates are wide open as they see the caravan coming. You all move into the city on the caravan itself. Actually, switch music.
Kill music.
Town music. Is there anything in particular you want to do on the approach as you're heading in? It's towards the evening now as you enter in Bryn Shander.
I'm going to hit up Velen, or perhaps, I'm sorry, I forgot the gnome's name here. Marcy?
Marcy,
Marcy. And ask them all the relevant information that they can supply me with about Bryn Shander. Size, population, how long it's been established, governmental figures, policies. Anything and everything.
Okay, all right.
Also
So
one of those kind of guys.
I like you. You're really curious. This is great. Let me tell you what I know. I know that, let's see. Bryn Shander is probably the biggest of all the 10 towns, most populated. It's the first one out, the first one that any caravan reaches when they get into this 10 towns area. So it's perfect place for starting a general store. That's for me anyway. For you though, population, I don't know. It's something around like 1,200 people, give or take. And probably one of the things you want to know, there's some important people. There's a person named Duvessa Shane. She's the town speaker. It's kind of like a governess or politician. Duvessa Shane. I'll type that in the chat for you. Let's see.
You said town speaker?
Yeah. And then there's the sheriff in town. He's a nice fella, actually. He helped me set up the shop and get the orders I needed. His name is Markham Southwell. And well, I guess after that, if you're looking for a place to stay, the best place to go is probably the Northlook Inn. Apart from that, this place is basically it's what you see. It's a trading community more so than any of the other 10 towns. If there's any place that has the goods and services you might need, it's this one.
I don't remember. Did you say the rest of the nail's open, or is it still closed, or like her shop?
It's been open. This is the last bit of goods and things that I needed in order to make my store that much better. Kind of a shame that we lost that last caravan or that last sled, but I guess we expected some losses.
Can we get a discount for being friends now?
She kind of looks you over and she's like, some of you did help quite a bit with getting a few of those carts out of the way. I tell you what, you come to my store, you help us unload a bit, and I'll give you all a 10% discount whenever you shop at my store.
Never heard that.
Cool.
All right, so I'll move you into the Bryn Shander map. As you enter into Bryn Shander from the southwest gate. Oops, I didn't actually. There we go. From the southwest gate, your first stop is the stables. So as you enter into this building, what you see before you, the houses in this area are designed to fight the elements. They have incredibly steep peaks in order to facilitate the snow for collapsing off of the roof, just so they don't build up. Essentially, you see these hugely tall roofs, and then the main thoroughfare, the main road, looks pretty diligently plowed and diligently shoveled. You see huge snowbanks kind of up and down each road, pretty consistent. And so as you move in from the outer roads, this snow-covered road, it becomes thick and muddy, dirty roads as you're progressing through the city itself. You take a pause at the stables, get fresh dogs just to pull you into the center of the town. And the cart itself pulls you up eventually towards the center. Here, I'll actually mark these stables for you as well. There we go. As you progress towards the center of the town, you hear there's interesting chatter going on from all of the people around you. Like there's excitement at the fact that a new caravan has come. Like, yes, all right, good. We got to get the stores ready. We have food at least. That's fantastic. And then there's other chatter that says, "What happened down south? We heard this great crash." Yes, there's a terrible avalanche. And then immediate pseudo, almost panic starts rippling through the streets. Like, avalanche? Is the pass clear? Will we be able to get out? I'm afraid not. No. It looks completely blocked. Oh, gods. How will we get more food? And there seems to be general concern as you are heading through to the center of the place, or the center of the town. As you get to the town itself, most of these goods and services are dropped off at these few buildings right here. And over one of the signs, it says the Rusty Nail. Goods and services are unloaded. Is there anything in particular you guys want to do?
I'll help unload.
Yep.
I will choose a suspiciously large box and carry it in with ease.
I'll stand on one side and go ahead and just take notes on everything being unloaded.
And I'm singing a song about Bryn Shandor.
How's it go?
I'll help unload.
I'll help unload.
All right.
I pick up reasonably sized boxes because I'm reasonably normally strong. But
all right.
I will evaluate every box I pick up to see if it looks like it's valuable.
Go ahead and make perception checks for me, Tavis.
Can I make an investigation check because I'm looking to see if the boxes...
Yeah. If you're rather like you're picking through things.
You rolled poorly.
Yeah, it's all just a bunch of food and like nails and supplies. Yeah. Not anything really fancy. There's certainly no gems or like sacks of gold or anything like that. But certainly there's a lot of stuff if you are interested.
Do I see him doing this?
With your... Well, I was going to say, Tavis, are you trying to be sneaky?
No, not really.
Okay. Then, yeah,
he's
you
not
definitely
stealing anything. I notice him doing it, is all. Okay.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You see him, like, rifling through this stuff. Like, as he's carrying it, he's, like, one hand over, kind of like, nope. That's terrible. Here we go.
He is nosy.
All right. After about a couple hours unloading boxes, sweaty work despite the cold, the cart is unloaded. Marcy kind of shakes all your hands and says, like, right, thank you so much. I appreciate your help. Anytime, anything you need from the general store, you come and get us. I'm probably going to send some of our goods and services over right up there to the Black Iron Blades. And she kind of gestures towards one of the buildings up north of your immediate position. And she says, between the two of us, we can probably get you proper for what you may need. And yeah, if you... And she talks to you, Miro, and she says, if you're looking for a place to stay, I recommend going to that Northlook place I was talking about. It's just up north in the city. Very tip-top over by the North Gate.
Excellent, thank you.
Very welcome. And with that, she goes inside and begins, like, looking around and starting to set up shop as you leave her and bid her adieu. What would you like to do?
Can we ask Velen? I just want to ask Velen where, like, okay, if we're here to find these guys, where were they? Like, were they in Bryn Shander, or how are we even supposed to It's a massive place up here.
She says, yes, I know. Honestly, I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine. They, of course, came through Bryn Shander, so maybe speaking to the populace might give us some clues. Helping out around here might loosen tongues. I don't know what else to tell you. It's
And they needed a room. Perhaps they stayed at the North Lake.
it's entirely possible.
Do you have a list of their names in the expedition?
Yes, we have Zan. We have. Ooh, let me see if I have surnames for you.
Do you want to say hi? Hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. You don't have a shot on.
No surname. Okay.
You and Brandon can start off in our bed. But you should go tell Brandon that you guys should go to sleep soon. Okay. You know you're letting your kids stay up late when they come and ask you if it's bedtime.
What time is it for you right now?
It's 8:26, so. But they had a big day.
And we just like our time just changed last night, right? So it's very bright outside, which is not how it was yesterday.
It's really not.
That's gotta be.
It's really nice in California right
near
now.
one person's name, or is that two names?
That's one name.
Okay, just making sure.
So she says, Zan is a wizard. He usually wears red robes. He's got a large pointy hat. Hopefully that will help when you're asking for descriptions. Nas Lantomir is a younger person by Arcane Brotherhood standards. Short cropped hair. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything too descriptive for her. Let's double check. And then Avarice is an interesting one. She will stand out, I think, a little bit. She is an albino tiefling.
Oh, that's actually pretty unique.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So what do you say, guys? Make way towards the inn.
That would be satisfactory.
Yeah, makes sense.
Okay. So you start to make your way up the main road towards the Northlook Inn. You get about to this point here, and you see a small crowd gathering. Go ahead and make perception checks as you're trying to look through and spot exactly what's going on.
Can I see over the top and get to look with advantage?
Advantage.
I rolled so bad. I'm like, I'm only focusing on my music playing right now. I don't care what's going on in the world.
You see Barris just strumming in the background, like, yeah, he's just going for it. So, Defect, Dakia, you would definitely notice that it appears to be there's multiple people surrounding what looks like a corpse. And in particular, this corpse has a large knife directly in its chest, and the knife is unusual in that from here, even at a distance, as you're trying to see through the crowd, it looks like it's not made of metal, but it's made of some sort of ice. You all overhear a bit of conversation, and some of the conversation is like, I think this is the third one. Check again. Check the listing. Was this person in the raffle or not? And then, like, after a moment's pause, you hear, no, confirmed. His name was not in the raffle. Poor bastard.
If I can, I'd love to get up a little closer and investigate.
Absolutely, yeah. So you kind of stroll in. There's a couple of like people who eye you a little bit as you kind of get into the circle, but they let you in. They say like newcomers, eh?
Can I ask about the raffle?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
what
please.
that means?
So Miro, as you're kind of glancing over the body, go ahead and make an investigation check. And Defect, as you do that, specifically, yeah, like what's the raffle, right? He says the raffle is, well, it's a custom of some of the Bryn Shander folk. Tonight, actually. It's difficult to say. It's not something we're proud of, but if you really want to see what the raffle is, head out of the north gate after about 9 p.m. or so, and you'll see it.
Mysterious.
If I can, may I take a passive investigation check?
Oh yeah, even just a subtle glance over, as you're just like, huh, interesting. You're examining the body. You see, it's the body of a stout halfling man, again with this ice knife directly lodged in its chest. Died not too long ago, like maybe within the past few hours, and like the body is like partially in the process of being covered up. They're getting ready to move the body back towards some sort of morgue, and it was just about to be carted away. And like people, you can see the sheriff there. Sheriff, actually, do I have a hand up for him? You see this person who has dark black skin, bald head, and like a thick white fur coat. He's kind of directing traffic there, and as he is saying, "Out of the way, please, move aside. We need to get this body out of here." He kind of sees you glancing at the body, Miro, and he says, "Are you any good with medicine? And are you what's your interest in this body, Outlander?"
Curious, simply curious, but we are looking for a few people, and I'm wondering if perhaps the fate of this gentleman here is the same that they met. Would it be possible to see the other bodies?
The other bodies happened in other towns. One of them in East Haven, which is just due east of us. I'll bring you back over here. He says just due east of us is in East Haven, and here, let me mark it on your map. The other was just due west in Targos.
And which came first? East Haven or Targos?
I believe the first was East Haven, the second was Targos, and then this third was Bryn Shander. Seems to be, based on what we can see, the only connection between these murders is the fact that all three of the murdered people somehow had withheld their names from the raffle.
Ian, I'd like to walk up and just tell the sheriff I'm a doctor, and I'd like to take a look.
Okay,
Like,
got it. Go ahead. Go ahead and make a deception check for me.
Can I make it with advantage? Because I have actor. I'm good at this.
Oh yeah, you can. Of course you can. Actor's awesome.
Nice.
Do that thing. Okay, so sure enough, he like smoothly, like you managed to drop just enough medical jargon to kind of confuse him in the moment, and he says like, yeah, so I see this body is blah blah blah. Like you drop just enough to let him almost immediately, like, of course, please, we had our doctors take a look at the body before, but by all means, if you would like second opinion, would be most welcome.
Yeah. So I'll look at the body. I also want to look at the knife. Is it melting?
It's cold enough to not be melting at the moment.
Okay. Can I steal it? Can I take the knife?
You could certainly try. You go ahead and make a sleight of hand check with disadvantage as people are actively staring at you and actively staring at this.
Nice.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. So yeah, I would say subtly enough, like you manage between all of you there, you manage to kind of just get their attention over there, like like to somewhere else. Like you do the whole classic like, what's that over there? But like in kind of easier purposes, and with just a flick of the wrist, just that's now in your inventory. It looks like it's made of just pure ice and might not be worth much in terms of combat, but at the moment it's not melting, so
cool.
You can add a bloody ice knife to your inventory.
Okay, bloody ice knife will do. And then, do I see anything else? Can I investigate the body? I don't know anything about medicine, but can I check out the body?
You certainly can. You can either make a medicine check or investigation check. And
I don't know anything about medicine.
Go ahead and turn.
okay, so not anything that Miro already hadn't uncovered. Stout halfling person, clearly killed by the knife through in the heart. Between the two of you, you definitely note that this person looks a little bit more well off, looks a little bit more well-to-do, and you can see, based on just clothing analysis and the fact that he's got a bigger belly and thick jowls, even though it's harsh territory and extremely cold, you can tell this person was a little bit more well off than others.
Maybe that's what I do is like I'm looking at this and I'd be like and I like point Miro and the sheriff even at like something else in the way, like, this is interesting. They have a this thing that's obviously well off, as I slide the knife out into my pocket.
Perfect. There you go. All right, fair enough. Subtly, like sliding the knife out and maybe even sliding the blanket over, so suspicion is not arisen. Okay, yeah, easy enough.
Nice, good job.
He looks like he's dead.
About your medical training later.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I did some back where I was from in the village. I'll tell you all about it.
That's awesome. So, is there anything else you want to do? As at this point, they're getting ready to cart the body away. Any questions you might have? Anything else that you might want to do before they cart it away?
Did Arya leave her bear in the car?
I suppose I can ask the sheriff what his initial thoughts are. Like, what are his suspicions about why this is happening, who it's affecting, and who they have assigned to investigate it.
Says, well, so far, our only lead is the fact that it tends to be traveling murders, and the only people who do an extensive amount of traveling in these 10 towns areas are the trade caravans. My thought is whoever has done this is a part of one of those trade caravans, and I'll probably know more in the morning. Based on this one, I think I should be able to do some calculations and see if I can narrow it down a bit to figure out who the trade caravan might be. But for now, I have to figure that out first.
Hey guys, can we take 5? We need Arya lost her bear, and we need to find it.
Yeah,
okay.
That's no problem.
Right. Never mind. We're okay. We're okay. We found the bear. It was
hibernating.
Crisis averted.
Crisis averted, indeed.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. So yeah, he basically says, like, I have reason to suspect that it's one of the trade caravans. not sure exactly which one. Trade caravans come through pretty often, but based on the timing, I'll have to look at my notes when I get back to my office. But based on the timing, it can only be one of a few at most. It's a good place to start as any. I'll know more by tomorrow.
Thank you for being so forthcoming with the information. I will be delighted to speak with you tomorrow.
Very well. And kind of does the circular motion, and the body is carted off towards a morgue of some kind.
Did the people carting off the body look to be like deputies or any sort of uniform or anything like that? And does the sheriff have any uniform?
The sheriff does. You oh, in fact, I think there is a sigil I can show you. Sorry, I'm learning where all these handouts are myself this first time. There's so many. It's so cool.
Oh man, I'm running what's it called?
Storm King.
Storm King one. There's so many things in there. I get lost in the sea of menus.
I know, it's intense. It's super intense. So everybody here has, you see there's a sigil that seems to be pretty uniform across, well, the people with uniforms. You see it looks like a wheat with antlers over a field of white. And you can see it's clasping most of their cloaks together, and it was banners that you had seen as you entered into Bryn Shander as well. 2 guards and the sheriff all wear the sigil, and everybody else, they were the ones who essentially cart the body off, the 3 of them together. Everybody else kind of disperses and goes about their business. Bad lot. That's terrible. Truly, truly terrible. As people start to mutter and move on.
If I catch somebody before they leave, I would like to ask them if they knew who this person was and where they lived.
Yeah, sure. Easy enough. You kind of stop one of the older fellows, and he says, "Oh yes, that was Tamsin." Oops, that's not the chat. That was Tamsin. He was one of the wealthier people here in town. Halfling. I wouldn't say good fella, but he did right by the community, I guess, so I suppose that's better than most. Is there anything else?
No, thank you.
Yeah, mostly just a well-to-do halfling.
I take it. Well, I guess I take it then that he had a house or some holdings somewhere in Bryn Shander or somewhere else.
Yes. He lived with his wife and 7 children, not too far from here. His home was actually just up the road there, and he kind of points towards this larger manor house over in this section area. He says, his wife will be, I'm sure she is devastated. Poor girl.
His name's James.
Do we want to go talk to her or let the sheriff do it? Hey.
I have no interest in soothing a saddened wife. If her husband wasn't strong enough to survive an attack, then it's better that he died.
Doc is hardcore.
I'm more interested in the names, ages, and weights of all the children.
What kind of food allergies do they have?
Would our random NPC here happen to know if the people killed in the other towns were also well off, or anything about them?
I don't really know exactly. I didn't know who they were. Maybe, though. That's interesting. I don't know who they were, though. I don't get out much to East Haven or Targos. Not these days, anyway. Not with my bones the way they are.
I wish I had bones.
Oh.
With that, he kind of looks at you like, huh.
I take off
What
my
do you
mask.
have?
No, I don't actually take off my mask. I'm just kidding.
He can't help it, but he kind of takes his old cane and he kind of like pokes your leg a little bit, like, huh, no bones. Well,
No.
Does it go clang or?
yeah. What sound does it make?
It's a muffled clang.
Mm.
No bones. You're gonna have to tell me all about life, Defect.
Maybe. That's all I got.
Okay, that's good. As the crowd starts to disperse, as the old man is like, "Well, good luck over there. No bones. See you around." He kind of hobbles off. What would you like to do?
Continue on to the inn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
Before we get to the inn, still outside, I just want to show the others, like, hey, look, guys, I anybody ever seen a knife like this?
You stole the knife?
And I got this ice knife in my hand, right? This knife is made of ice.
How big is it?
It's as big as
Knife would be.
A knife, like it's like like a small dagger.
Yeah,
like,
I don't know why, but for some reason I just picture like Kratos' big old sword, like blade.
Just this gigantic ice blade.
For some reason I just pictured that. For some reason I don't know why. So
Small dagger for sure. Small
right.
dagger. And you guys have never seen anything quite like this before. You've never seen a blade, number one, made strictly out of ice, nor it doesn't seem practical.
Even the handle's made out of ice?
Even the handle, yeah.
Ian, can I make it melt a little bit? Like if I rub my hand on it, does it melt?
You could. I mean, it would probably certainly be easier if you got into, inside where things are warm and they're braziers. But you could.
As he's trying to melt it, like I see him do this, I'll cast Produce Flame. And just let him, if he wants to try to melt it, like I'll just hold the flame.
Like you're roasting a hot dog.
Yeah, if he wants to.
I give my canteen.
Okay, yeah. I don't want to melt it. But I do want to see if it melts. Right.
Yeah,
This is what I.
Hold
Or
on.
if you want it, you can hold it closer to see if like water drips off of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, as you hold. Sure. So as you hold it up, Miro has like a little vial right below it. Sure enough, it does start to drip. It starts to kind of melt, and you see the edge lessens slightly as it starts to melt and congeal around the sides. Miro, you grab a couple drops.
Seems like a useful weapon, though it's a strange one to use in a freezing cold place like this.
Can I cast like since you're about to probably go to bed, probably get a good sleep. I could probably regain the spell. Can I cast like detect magic on there to see if it's magical or not, or?
You can. So as you eyes start glowing, you get the sense that it is not magical. It has faint traces of magic on it, as though it were created by magic, but it itself is not magical.
Shape water. Shape water's good. Interesting.
Okay, then I'll put it back in my wherever I was stashing it before. pocket
It's gonna
sleeve.
be just a puddle.
No way, it's not gonna melt. It's
You're gonna stand outside.
Yeah, put it outside in the snow. Let it sit there.
I'm gonna stash it outside. You don't know that.
You're.
I just
I'm
stashed
already
it away.
walking.
I hid it. I hid it back wherever I think it is.
Where everything.
Go put it back in the person. There you go.
Yeah.
Store it there.
Put it back in the person.
Already carted off.
Believe was good here. All right, so you guys are heading up to the Northlook?
Yeah.
Okay, so continuing up the road a little bit, heading into the Northlook Inn.
Before we go inside, I'm just gonna be like, guys, I'll meet you inside, and then I'm gonna sort of walk around and see if I can find a good place to hide this thing, this bloody dagger that I stole from a corpse.
Sure. So, yeah, I mean, go ahead and it shouldn't be too hard to do that. So if you're trying to find like a spot in an alley, like behind a barrel, that sort of thing, you easily enough find some place to kind of tuck away the dagger out of sight.
Cool.
Easily done.
That's what I'm gonna do. And then, okay.
All right, and as you head inside to the Northlook, let's see, what kind of tavern music do I have here? Boop, boop. So you walk in, and immediately the contrast as you enter this building is intense. There are numerous fireplaces, braziers in this mostly wood building, and immediately it's like, oh, it's warm. It feels so good. As you step outside or step in from the bitter cold, feels good. There's numerous patrons. There's some at a bar. There are some at various tables across the place itself. Most of the floor and most of the tables have like this dark brown, almost resin-like lacquer over all of it to give, I don't know, everything a little bit of a shine. But you can tell that even staring down at your own feet, it's pretty worthwhile as you're tromping in snow and mud. What would you like to do?
I want to look at everybody inside and kind of size them up. Just kind of look and see which people look like the toughest ones in the room and kind of give them an eye.
Pick a fight.
Fair enough. So there are what look to be a couple of people. There's most of the tables are filled. There's like one or two that are not. And Velen moves off and she says, I'm going to get us a couple of rooms. You do what you need to do. I'll be right back. She heads off. One table in particular catches your eye, Thakia, and there are 3 dwarves there. As they have taken off their scarves and thick mittens, and you see all these like extra clothing bits draped on the chair behind them. Intensely frostbitten. There's one who is missing their nose, with like black pits, black like scratches, essentially where the rest of the flesh is starting to decay. You can see another one is reaching for a thick mug of ale with 2 less fingers. Another one, earlobes are completely gone from the frostbite conditions. And they look like the toughest bunch, but even still, they're like shaking their heads and like, I can't believe we lost the shipment. What are we gonna do? And you overhear a snippet of their conversation. Apart from that, you see a couple of the other patrons. Mostly, they're all burly, like in the sense that you have to be kind of a hard worker and a hardy individual in order to live at a place like this. So humans with thick beards, elves with like intense calluses on their hands and like dark eyes, like they've seen some stuff. But everybody around you get the sense that if they're here, they can probably hold their own.
I will probably go to the bar and order some kind of ale.
I do with you. I go with you.
I'm following her, singing a song about how she's ordering an ale.
She's ordering an ale. Yeah, that's awesome. I like it. So yeah, the bartender up at the front has like this thick, heavy leather apron, bald head, and then just this huge, burly, white beard. He says, "Hello there, ale, is it? Sure, come on, out of the cold. Take some drinks. Can we get your food? We have a hot stew in the back. That lady, Velen, said she was getting you some rooms. They'll be ready in just a moment, I'm sure. Can we get you anything to eat in the meantime?"
I'll take a stew. A stew and an ale.
A stew. Yeah.
You've got it, of course. Of course. Margie! We got five stews. Do you all want a bowl?
None for me, thanks.
Yes, I do. But I would also like
Very
the recipe.
well. 4 stews, ales, and a recipe. You've got it, of course. Margie, bring out some stew. And like he calls back to the back kitchens. This plumper human woman steps out with a couple of bowls after a moment, and she says, "Here you go, lads. And you wanted the recipe, did you? Well, here you go." And she kind of hands over a slip of paper. She's my grandmother's recipe. You'll love it.
Your grandmother's name? Age?
Kind of looks at you like, "You're very personal, aren't you?" Well, and she gets into the conversation. She you can tell she's off put a little bit. She's like, but she tells you.
Serious note-taking ensues.
Okay. Well, I'll be going then, and just let Hilda, it's my daughter, and let Bjorn here know if you need anything. I'll be back in the kitchens. And you see her daughter is bussing tables at the moment. What would you like to do?
I want to take a look at Defect and say, "You any good in a fight?"
Oh.
You look like you might be strong. We could arm wrestle.
Sure.
I'm gonna look at her character sheet. I actually didn't even look at her sheet yet. Let's see her.
Do you want to arm wrestle?
Yeah, let's arm wrestle.
Okay.
So as you get ready to do so, you kind of find a table, you get set up. You immediately hear like a hush come over the crowd, and you hear like, "I've got a gold," says that wooden one beats her. "No way, I've got a gold," says the tall one. She looks strong. "I got a gold on her." "You're on, I'll take that bet." And you immediately hear random bets being placed throughout the entire place.
Oh geez, I just looked at her strength.
Yeah. I did that earlier. Yeah.
All right, so go ahead and make a strength check, both of you.
You have to roll under a 9. Yeah, see.
So far, and right away, Defect, you can feel like the bulging muscles and the leverage she has at having just a slightly longer forearm immediately start to push your arm down. You can hear immediately shouts and like slams of like tankards of the ale as people are like, "No, come on, fight, damn you!" And go ahead and make one more check. You are losing currently. Let's see if you can come back from this.
Ooh, better.
Can I like secretly cast bardic inspiration on Defect?
Sure. For who? For whom?
For Defect.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
What is that?
So defect, you can add a D10 to one of your rolls if you wish. And Thakia, go ahead and make one more as you're pressing your advantage at this point. Oh no! So defect pulls back. And you're back to square one. You're back to the center. Go ahead and make another check.
Oh, so it's a D. So bardic inspiration is a D6
Oh, it's a D6. That's right. It's not a D10.
at this level. Yeah.
Okay, so defect, you can add. So make one more check and add 6 to it.
Okay. Didn't roll.
Oh,
close,
with the
but no.
inspiration. No, so Takia's, you can see the muscles straining on her biceps now as she pushes you closer to the ground, regaining her strength. Go ahead and make one more check. Again, you hear like shouts and slams from the onlookers.
Oh, both of us one more time.
Yeah, go ahead and make one more time.
Well. Ooh.
Oh, to the center! You're putting on a good show. At this point, bets are doubled. You can see, like, 2 gold says she can take it. No, to hell with that. I've got 2 gold says it's the metal one. Come on, metal guy, let's go! Go ahead and make one more check.
There it is.
And I would say that is enough of a difference that Takia, with one final, it's almost like she's letting this happen. Just suddenly, just like, no, she's done. Slam! Like, slams her hand down to the base. And you hear, like, erupts, like a cheer from the crowd and, like, a couple of, like, grimaces as gold is exchanged around you.
Well, that actually went better than expected for me. And I say that out loud, like, 100%.
I give him a slap on the back. Yeah, you just might make it in the mountains, Tin Man.
Thanks.
So, with all the commotion, you see specifically those frostbitten dwarves, like, immediately, like, have eyes on you and, like, kind of start to stand up and move towards you and say, like, well, you lot can hold your own. I'm wondering if you might be willing to do a little bit of work. I don't know. Can we buy you a beer?
You surely can.
Right. And they come back with ales around for everybody. They say, well, we're the survivors of one of our caravans that went up north. We were supposed to be transporting these iron ingots back to black iron blades. But we got ambushed. There's this huge yeti. Managed to surprise and kill one of our groups. He didn't have a chance. Just tore the poor bastard limb from limb. We ran as far as we could. When we made our way back in the snow, it turns out that our caravan went missing. So somebody stole our caravan. We came straight back away and straight back here to see if we could get some help with it. But if you're willing, if you're interested, Lord knows, I think you could be a huge help in getting back our iron ingots. We'd be willing to pay.
A yeti, you say? How big was it?
Oh, huge.
Like, in comparison to me, how many heads higher?
Oh, you lass are a big one, I will say that. But these yetis, they're gigantic. Maybe not quite twice the size of you, but getting there. 10 feet? 11 feet? They're huge.
Can you tell me about the mating and preferences for food?
Oh, say what?
Sorry, I was just looking for information on the Yetis to scribble in my notebook.
Oh yeah, they're carnivores, meat-eating, gruesome. They ripped our friend apart and started chomping on his arm before we even got away. Yeah, eat meat very clearly. If you're willing to do it, we were heading up north towards Kelvin's Cairn. I'm actually pulling up the other map.
What would you be willing to pay?
Well, I tell you what, I've got gemstones that we could give you. Each one pretty valuable. We'd be willing to part with one each. I think they're worth about 50 gold apiece. If you're interested.
50 gold, that buys a lot of notebooks and quills. Great.
Money can be exchanged for goods and services.
Simpsons.
Yeah. I thought it was time to drop that, though. You know. It's only a matter of time until I said
that. Are you guys planning on? You just need somebody to go find it for you.
Aye, it hasn't been long enough that. Well, there should still be tracks to follow. I don't think we haven't hit any serious weather, but I am worried if a blizzard comes or some sort of inclement weather, we'll lose whatever tracks came for it. Based on the footprints, I will say it could be as many as, I don't know, 4 or 5 little creatures, smaller than humans, but whatever they were, they had some gigantic cart. They have a large sled of some sort. The tracks were gigantic. They were really huge and deep. It's almost as though, I don't know, it's heavier than any other sled tracks I've seen before. I don't know what to make of it exactly. We weren't too far away from Bryn Shander, though. If you're making your way, at least head straight toward Kelvin's Cairn, not maybe a few miles outside of the city. You'll come across it.
Look, guys, I mean, 150 gold is kind of good, is I guess okay, but we're here on a specific mission, and honestly, guys, I'm surprised you'd ask us. We're kind of famous. For something like this, you'd have to at least double that price.
And they kind of look at each other a little bit, and one kind of go ahead and make a persuasion check. Or deception. I would say either one of those would be okay.
Well, that one. I mean,
that one seems better for you. So yeah, the famous out of you. Right.
Yeah, we get hired for very high fees. So there's 150 for something like this is.
Well, I tell you what. I don't have enough to double the fee. That is more than I've got. But I tell you what, I could throw in another 2 gemstones. And that cleans me out securely.
I'll tell you what. Let me speak with my my friends here and see if that will be sufficient for us to do this for you.
Of course. You take your time. We'll be right over here. You let us know if you can do it, eh?
Yeah.
And they head back to their table.
Nevis, I didn't know you were famous. You're gonna have to tell me about that later.
Do I believe that he's famous, or did I overhear this? First of all,
you did. You definitely overheard it. You're all at the same table for sure. You can go ahead and make an insight check. Yeah.
Okay. Why is it doing it that way? There we go. Okay.
Tavis is
I have no
totally
idea.
famous. Tavis is as far as you know, yeah, he's super famous. He must, I don't know, be a famous adventurer. You're not exactly sure famous for what yet, but definitely famous.
Maybe it's because he's a doctor. famous doctor.
He's a famous doctor now too. That's right.
Well, I was hired to help you guys go into the mountains, and if this is what you want to do, I will go with you. But I should warn you, Yetis are very dangerous, and these mountains are crawling with them.
I am supremely interested in retrieving Yeti samples.
This will make very excellent storytelling material, so I'm in. I could write an epic song about this and sell it.
It's hard to write a song if they've chewed off all your fingers, but you're welcome to try.
I mean, we don't know where we're going anyway. I suppose that this might help us to find out where we, get some more information. I don't know anything about Yetis, actually.
These are creatures. They're large.
They eat fingers.
They eat fingers.
They will fight anything that comes into their territory rather aggressively, be it man or beast.
Well,
you notice that Thonki as well seems to be speaking quite authoritatively. Like, definitely is speaking from experience or has encountered this in some way. She feels like from what you're seeing, she is. Yeah, she's speaking authoritatively. I'll say that.
Look, maybe it would help us to find out I mean, we have a goal, right? We need to find out what happened to Zan, Nas, and Avarice.
Well, we can ask them if they know, too. I don't think we asked them, so.
That's true.
If you want to go, we should not go at night and try and face the Yetis in the dark. That will be to your downfall. Plus, I want to sign up for this raffle.
I want to know what this raffle is.
Yeah, we gotta go to the North Gate after 9 p.m. That's what the guy said.
I'd be very interested in checking the guest logbook, if that's at all possible, speaking with Bjorn, the tavern keeper.
Very good. Is there anything in particular you're looking for, or is this just more data collection?
A little bit of both, but I am looking for the names Zan, Nas, Lantamir, and Avarice. Okay.
You would notice that all three of them were in the book for sure, as he kind of like questions and says, and then you give him, of course, the excuse that you're trying to find some certain people. I'm sure he says, of course. Here you go. About 2 months back, you do find entries where all three of them were staying at the same time, and then one by one of them left the next night, and another left the next night, and then there were no more entries. So specifically, all three stayed. Zan was the first to leave. Nas was the second, and Avarice stayed here a third night before she finally left as well. There were no more entries beyond that.
Well, I don't know. I guess.
How much time do we have until 9 p.m.?
It's just after dinner time. It's getting about like 7-ish at this point. Like, you've had your stew, you've had some ale, you're feeling pretty warm, you're feeling pretty good. You have a little bit of time before 9.
I'm gonna sit at a table, and anyone who wants to pay a copper can challenge me to an arm wrestle. And if you win, you double your money, and if you lose, I keep your copper.
All right, sounds good. Is there anybody else gonna do anything?
One of my key skills is performance, and I just want to see if anybody wants me to put on a show and how well I do. I can make a roll for it. I don't know. Like put on a concert.
Can you sing a song
Bjorn essentially
people to arm wrestling?
Yeah, Bjorn especially like nods and he's like, "Sure, if you want to play some music, we always need that. Bards are more than welcome at the Northlook."
Right. Let's see what.
On my part, I'm just wandering around taking notes on all the various patrons, asking them about their lives, where they come from.
Okay. Tavis and Defect, are you guys doing anything?
Once I'm just trying to. I am still. I want to know what to tell these dwarves, whether or not we're going to do this thing. So I'd like to gather the group's information if we're going to do this for these dwarves. As I think we're going to lose out on some money if we decide to do it later.
Just to recap really quick, they did specify that we should hurry to go do this because they're worried the tracks will fade.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I don't want to miss out on the opportunity for Yeti samples, so I will assist Tavis in trying to convince the rest of the party to get out the door here.
If you're going to go, I will take you.
Does that mean we're going to leave at night?
No, I don't think we have to do it. I mean, well, let me if I don't think we should. If Daki is telling us not to do it at night, she's probably informed. We don't want to be stupid about it. Let if the answer is yes, I can tell them. I can see if we can do it in the morning.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah. So then I'll go. I'd like to approach these dwarves and say, yes, I and my companions we'll do this for you. Would it be appropriate that we leave in the morning?
And they kind of look at each other and nod. I don't think there's any inclement weather coming tonight. I think leaving tomorrow makes sense. Be just fine, I think.
All right, we'll do it for you. And we once completed, we'll fully expect to be paid in full.
Of course. Yeah, just bring the iron back here and we'll pay you. Absolutely. Wouldn't want somebody so famous to go without.
Okay. Now I'll go back and tell the group.
Okay. All right, sounds good. Thakia, do me a favor, roll a d6 for me.
I will do so. 6.
Okay. 6 people took your challenge this night, and you slammed them all. You make 6 copper.
6 copper. I got 6 people.
I know. 6 people. You don't look that
intimidating.
intimidating. I know.
Well,
6 people thought they were going to beat you.
They're feeling encouraged by the song of our bard, and they think they stand a chance.
That's fair.
Strong.
I think that now you were putting on a fake show with Defect,
Maybe.
and after watching you beat these 6 people handily, and that it was all a ploy.
Maybe.
That's what I think.
That would be a wise hustle.
All right. So as time progresses, you realize that more and more the conversations are starting to be slightly more hushed as time gets towards time gets closer to the 9 o'clock time frame. Boop. You see more and more people are like staring into their cups, almost with this distant look in their eyes, as though there's hesitation, there's nervousness, And the air in the tavern, as it gets closer and closer to this time frame, progressively gets more somber. And eventually, people start to kind of down the last of their cups, put it down. Thank you, Bjorn. You see you out there? I'm closing up here in just a moment. I'll be there. All right. And one by one, the people start leaving the Northlook Inn. What would you like to do?
I would like to follow them out.
Okay. So, as you all kind of follow, there's a large procession of people that have already started to gather outside of the North Gate. A huge semicircle of the townspeople gathered in front. And it's biting cold, and they're all shaking for warmth. And let's get this done. Let's get this over with. I want to be back in the warmth. Come on, then. Let's have done with it. And you can see one person up at the top, a female in thick overcoat, thick white fur lining the neck with a blue cloak. She steps up to, like, on this planchion. She says, I know all of you. Well, I know all of you are concerned for what happens next. And I am sorry. This never gets easy. I ask you all, and her voice starts booming over the throng of people, to take a moment and plead with Oriel that this be the last. In your hearts, ask of her to stop this winter, to stop this darkness. Let our crops grow once more. Summer should be coming, and yet it is not. 10 towns will not survive unless we do our part to appease the Frostmaiden. And with that, we draw the names. She gestures over to the side, and the sheriff, who you had seen earlier, comes up with a large basket and proffers it out to her. She reaches inside and opens up a single slip of paper. Hilda Tanis. And there's a murmur going through the entire crowd as, no. And they all look back towards Bjorn's daughter, towards the lady that you had seen bussing tables. And she immediately, you can hear this wail coming from her mother, like, no, Hilda! And you can hear this almost violent cry. Sobs are echoing from the people themselves as a few guards step forward. One kind of has a hand out on Bjorn's shoulder and says, I'm sorry. Hilda, please. Let's not make this any harder than it has to be. Give your mother a hug, and your father too, in the school. And stoically, Hilda hugs her mother, hugs her father, steps up towards the speaker with the guards in tow. And the speaker looks at Hilda and says, your sacrifice is not going in vain. All of you, plead now. Plead to Oriel that she will end this eternal night. Let our crops grow once more. She nods towards the guards, and there is a large wooden stake tied up in the center, and the guards slowly start removing the heavier clothes from her, the coats, the jackets, the mittens, shoes, boots, and begin tying her down to the stake. She's immediately like freezing cold as her teeth are chattering. They bind her to the stake and step back. And with that, the speaker says, "Go back to your homes. Hopefully, this will be the last." And slowly, the people, you look around one by one, the various faces, a feeling of guilt and shame, but at the same time, relief on most of their faces at not having been picked. They turn and start shambling inward towards the city itself. Is there anything you guys want to do?
Is everybody leaving? Like nobody's staying around?
The guards are definitely staying.
Oh, okay.
But the speaker is starting to pack up, and she's getting herself ready, and the sheriff is packing up.
I want to go talk to the speaker, and I'm kind of gonna get in her face a little bit, and I'm like, "What are you doing? Why? What purpose does this serve?"
I'm gonna go listen, just so I can be there.
I'm heading that way too.
Same.
So she stops you and says, like, all as though she's heard this 1,000 times before, and she one hand up and she says, "Listen, if we had any other hope, we would absolutely exercise that. With the coming, we should be in high summer, and yet we're not. Auril the Frostmaiden has plunged Icewind Dale into winter, and if you can think of any other solution for stopping this cold, this endless night before it destroys our crops and kills all of us, I'm open for suggestions. In the meantime, if you'll excuse me."
Do I know anything about Auril the Frostmaiden?
You would not in particular know anything about Auril, but I would say that you have experienced the darkness. You've experienced the oncoming eternal night. And it has been about a year since about last summer, and going 2 summers without standy crops is intense. There's usually at least a seasonal time for people to at least grow some amount of food. They haven't been able to do so now for 2 seasons. And you realize that you're right, it is a dire circumstance for these people.
Can I ask if this is an everyday thing?
She says, no. Once every new moon. You'll find every one of the 10 towns, we've all agreed, all the speakers have agreed to make our sacrifices in the way that we can. Bryn Shander is one of the few that can sacrifice lives. We hope that we are doing our part to stop Auril.
What makes you think? What makes you think that this kind of sacrifice is good? Does Auril take sacrifices? Is that supposed to help Auril or please the Frostmaiden?
Says, you can wait and watch if you truly want. It won't take long. usually doesn't. I've seen it enough. I don't need to see it again.
I will wait and
She has a
watch.
haunted look in her eyes.
Mm-hmm. And Ian, you said that all towns are doing this, or they've agreed some sort of. Not all of them are doing human sacrifices.
Correct. Yeah. So all of them have agreed to make a sacrifice of some kind. Only the larger of the cities, she mentions Bryn Shander, Targos, and East Haven are the ones that perform human sacrifices.
Murders.
I will scoff at her and go and move away to a distance where I can watch and see what happens.
Okay. Is there anything else that
They
rest
all
you wanna do?
humans, right? The sheriff, the town speaker, they're all humans.
Sheriff and town speaker are all humans, but you see various other humanoids. In fact, it's very diverse here in Bryn Shander. Like one of the guards is a dark elf, another one is a dwarf, another one is, you see half orcs. All manner of different people have come to Icewind Dale.
I'll probably just
Hey, guys.
mutter something about, like, unwilling to, fight for your people and walk away.
She kind of lets it roll off her shoulder, and you see the speaker now starting to pack up her things and move on and like head back towards it into the sandy gates. The guards themselves look up, and as you pulled back a little bit a ways away as well, the guards look up, and a very familiar set of eyes that you had seen before, right before an avalanche, appear in the darkness directly in front of you, and the guards instinctively take multiple steps back. You can hear open sobbing as Hilda is tied down to the pillar, and she's as stoic as she was. She's losing it now. And suddenly the wind starts to pick up around the northern edge of the city. And as you watch, these two eyes, all you see in the distance are just a pair of orange globes on a larger face than normal. It doesn't look like a possible humanoid, well, possible human form. The eyes are too far apart, too large to be human. But suddenly this intense frosty wind picks up, and it seems to be incredibly localized. Hilda's hair immediately whips out as the frosty gale sweeps around her and nowhere else. And you see in short order this intense biting wind and frosty localized blizzard crashes down on Hilda, and in moments her screaming ceases. After a few moments, this biting wind dissipates back to the stillness of night, and the eyes are gone. And what's left on the stake is Hilda, completely frozen solid.
Mm.
I just shake my head.
What a waste. This is a coward's way.
Fascinating.
I've never seen anything like this. And this night is non-natural, but I do not think that this will solve their problems. Fools. I'm gonna head back into town.
Yeah. I'd like to head back, but while I'm heading back, I'd like to just well, I guess probably not now. I'll wait. Anyway, so yeah, I'd like to head back.
I'd like to ask the guards how long this has been going on, how many people they sacrificed, and numerical type stuff.
Yeah, he's one of the half orcs with a snapped right tusk. Kind of turns to you, like bundled up extremely, but no mask, hood up, goggles on, kind of looks at you and says, "I don't know, one per new moon, once a month, maybe 12, give or take."
And it's the same thing every time?
Same thing every time. You can see the half orc is got this reserved, resigned look. He says, "It seems to lessen her anger, lessen her wrath for a time."
And whose idea was it to start the sacrifice?
The speakers got together, all 10 of them, in a council meeting, trying to figure out what they could do to stop Auril. This is what they came up with.
I'm kind of frustrated and mad at this whole situation. Is there some wood I can chop and kind of let out some of my anger?
Wood I can chop. That's awesome.
Like hack down a tree or something.
So definitely very few trees fully, but there are certain branches and like there are the occasional tree within the city walls, but do you want to seriously like hack down a tree? I would say there are huge piles of lumber. There are huge piles of wood.
Yeah, I'll chop some wood, and I'm just kind of muttering about stupid people and sacrificing people for unknown causes, and just they should be facing their problems head on and figuring it out. Idiot.
All right. So yeah, the Northlook Inn has like this large, thick stump, and there's a huge pile of chopped and unchopped wood. So after a moment, you just kind of just take your anger out, your aggression out on this wood.
I am quite handy with an axe.
Nice. So you take some moments to do that. Is there anything else you guys want to do?
What axe is she using?
Not mine.
Not your axe.
My axe is too good for this wood. I'm assuming there was one like leaning up against the wall near the pile that I could use.
There would have been. Yeah, it seems most buildings have something similar. Have like sorry, go ahead.
Were there two axes? Could I put one in each hand and like smash pieces of wood with an axe in each hand and like double fist wood chop?
Didn't see this thing. I would say there's probably only one axe. Yeah, just one. Hanging up on the side. You'll have to make do with just one.
I just wanted to talk to Defect for a little bit.
Okay.
Like maybe as we walk back, I'm curious to. I just maybe ask him about his wood face. Defect. You have a wooden mask of some kind. What is that? What is that for?
I may tell you in time. Suffice it to say, I don't like what's under it.
Okay. Well, it's your own business. I just it is hard to miss. It's.
Sorry,
yeah.
Is it off-putting?
No, just it is curious, at least. Then how did you if what would you be willing to tell me how you got involved in this business?
In time.
All right, talkative. All right, then I give up.
All right. So as you make your way back into the warmth of the Northlook Inn, most of the regular patrons have gone home. The jovial attitude that was there before is evaporated as quickly as it came. Is there anything you guys want to accomplish before you bed down for the night?
I don't really know what else is to do if the town's closing down for the night.
Yeah, for the most part, you see most people walking dejected back to their homes or closing up shop, heading back.
The only, yeah, I guess I just, from my room, I guess I would quietly, I guess I'd want to go to my room and then quietly just practice some voices.
Bear
If I
back
could.
when I go grab a drink really quick.
Practicing your voices.
Uh-huh.
That's awesome. So you hear
Specifically,
Thomas
like the town speaker and the sheriff, who I heard talking a little bit, who I talked to a little bit.
Nice, absolutely, yeah. Easy enough to do. Let me just double check. Okay, yeah. So like you start to narrow things in and until suddenly, like, as Miro, as you kind of walk past to your room, you overhear what you swear sounds like the sheriff coming from inside one of the doors.
I stand near the door and prepare to transcribe what I hear.
Yeah, what exactly are you saying, Thomas?
I'm probably saying something like, ladies and gentlemen, there's nothing to see here. Don't worry. Everything is fine. Something like, everything is great. Don't worry about it. That sort of stuff in different iterations, right? To try to get that right.
In my entry next to the sheriff, I write "insane?" ?
All right, so you'll make your way to the bedchamber, bed down for the evening. That's awesome. I will say, for the purpose of this, you guys will also level up to level 2.
Sweet level 2.
Level 1's a gimme.
Yes.
Easy peasy. Level 1's always a gimme.
On our way back, were there stars out at all?
There were. So once night fell truly, you can see the stars. They look almost shimmering, though. It's as though something is, well, no, I would say you would definitely clearly see stars. You could see the stars. The aurora borealis effect that was in the night sky, quote unquote night sky, seemed to dissipate as it got more to be truly nighttime. It seemed to be more of a daytime thing. And now you do see the night sky, you see stars, you see familiar nebulas, etc.
So did the innkeeper, it was their daughter, right? That died.
Mm-hmm.
Are any of them around, or did they already go to bed?
They were not around when you came in.
Okay.
You could certainly look around if you wanted to.
I'm gonna try to write them a note, just offering my condolences. And I'm gonna leave that on the bar. In the kindest words that I can muster, if I can find any sort of paper or anything like that. And then I'm gonna head outside and just
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm back.
Watch the stars.
Okay, just kind of sit outside. It's up here with all the firelight gone and the just the chill night air, cloudless skies up above. The stars are gorgeous, thousands upon thousands, sparkling in the sky with this beautiful, almost like bluish haze of a nebula that is not normally visible from further south. It's gorgeous. It's breathtaking.
And I'll do that until the cold becomes too much. Before I head to bed.
Yeah, even just stepping outside, the difference in temperature is as much as like 60 degrees difference. It's intensely bitter cold outside.
For sure.
All right. So with that, you get your rest. You can go ahead and do your level up thing.
Are we getting good level? I stepped away for a few minutes.
Yeah, we leveled this to level 2.
Level 2.
Without even fighting.
Yeah.
All right, worked out.
We made
fighting,
it
exactly.
safely to Brinchander.
Yeah, we fought
We
nature
didn't die to the orange eyes.
yet.
There you go. You all managed to save a couple things from the avalanche and not you some of you arm wrestled a lot. All right, so you wake up the following morning. You see a much subdued Bjorn tending to things down in the bar area. His wife is nowhere to be seen, and you can see him kind of preparing a thick stew. And he says, "Oh no, I'm sorry, a thick porridge in the morning." And he says, "Food will be ready in just a moment, if you want." And he kind of has a distant look in his eyes as he slops out some food. "Are you out for an early start? Heading out soon?" Sets out bowl after bowl.
Yep. We're heading up north toward the place that's on the map that's called
Past
the Kelvin's Cairn.
It's like, right. Good luck. He's like barely listening. He's kind of going through the motions of being polite. But you can tell his heart's not in it today. He hands you all your food. It's not particularly tasty. It seems like he was manning the stations and he's not very good at it. It's barely seasoned at all. And you're just like, incredibly bland oatmeal gruel.
As long as it's warm.
But it is filling. Yeah, it's warm and it's filling. Exactly right.
I take bites just to be polite. I don't finish my bowl.
I'd probably say something like, fellows, if we were going to go out and do this, go on this journey together, I'd at least like to know who you are. My name is Tavis Brightsnow. Yeah, I have some experience with the Archean Brotherhood, working with them before. Might I have your names and how you come here?
What was the name of the lady that hired us?
Her name was
Velen Harpel.
Velen.
I'm Barius, singular, like Cher.
Shorts.
Who's, who's that?
I'm Katya. As Belen said, I'm here to take you through the mountains. What you see is what you get. These mountains are my home, and I will try and help you take you through them safely.
I am Muro. My full name is No Consequence, but I doubt you'd be able to pronounce it anyway. And I come from a very far off land, and I am working with the Arcane Brotherhood to recover certain magical artifacts that are reported to be in the north.
Might as well.
Leaves me, I guess. I come from just farther south, the Neverwinter Wood. I'll just for the briefest time, I'll take off my mask, and you'll see a warforged face. And so then I'll just say, I have no memory. I'm trying to get that back.
Cool. Yeah, we're inside, right? So I wouldn't be wearing a hood or anything, so you can see that I'm an elf also.
For the most part, I think I would probably be keeping my mask and hood up the entire time, but I'll take it off at this moment so you can see what I am. I'm a Githyanki, so I'm a very different looking sort of humanoid. Very green skin, funky looking features, and just a little context here. Githyanki are actually like interplanar raiders. They just kind of show up on the magic flying airships and just take whatever the hell they want. They're very violent. Or like people do not have a good like reputation among the races of the material plane, but we're not often seen. So pretty unusual.
Okay. Would you tell us about that? As I
more than happy to tell you about anything you want, so long as we can swap questions. I have plenty for you.
All right. Well, if we have some traveling to do, then maybe we'll chat. I'd love to. You seem an interesting fellow. Glad to be a part of this, guys. Let's go get some cool artifacts.
If you have your weapons, bring them. And your wits.
All right. So with introductions complete, you head outside. It's early morning. Now the stars are fading from the night sky, and once again, where you see there should be rising sun, it seems to be that aurora borealis effect has started to creep back into the night sky, growing a little bit brighter, and the night sky remains. Heading off north?
Heading off north.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So.
Oh,
you try.
I'd like to pick up the knife before we leave. Is it still frozen?
It's still frozen. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
So you pick it up. You kind of stow it in your pack.
Yeah.
Easy enough. So you start heading off in the direction the dwarves told you, directly towards Kelvin's cairn. You kind of put it in your sights and walk straight towards it. It's interesting structure. It looks as though it is a massive pile of rocks. It's not a singular mountain, but it really does look like a huge cairn, like a huge grave of some sort. Piled stones in a particular mound. At this point, fairly well snow covered. But you, with that in the distance, you start to head directly towards it. Sorry, what, Brian?
So what did this dwarven valley look like? Look like we're traveling through some kind of like channel, or I don't know.
Yeah, so you realistically, we're probably not even gonna get that far, but you can. We'll see what you see if you get there.
Okay.
Thakia, if you want to make a history check to see what you might know about the Dwarven Valley, you can go ahead and make that.
I do want to do that, because I know a lot, actually. So much. So much.
I need a lot.
You suspect You guess it has something to do with dwarves in a valley.
Yeah, you don't often come to the 10 Towns area, so this Dwarven Valley, not really sure. You mostly spent your time in the mountains anyway.
Can I tell them some stuff about snow? Can I be like, this is week-old snow. You'll notice that the texture is crunchy and more about snow, less about dwarfs.
Yeah, so like her topic kind of shifts a little bit as you start talking more about, the snow is pretty powdery these days. It's kind of nice. It's actually like a nice soft powder. It's kind of good. So you start to make your way up northeast, directly towards Kelvin's Cairn. The going is not easy. You don't have any sort of. You're not in a vehicle of any sort, not in a sled now, and so having to walk through the snow, your feet are constantly sinking into the snow, and it is difficult going. There's no clear path up to the northeast.
Since I'm like a half elf, can I walk on the snow like Legolas?
You probably would, yeah. So all of these heavier people, especially Defect, is just trudging through the snow, and you like kind of look over and you see Barris on his guitar, just daintily strolling on top of the snow. Yeah, exactly. All right, we are not in the city now. Let's try that one. Okay, so you are walking forward. After a couple of miles of travel, so a few hours or so, it's slow going, but as you're plodding your way up through the northeast, after a moment or two, you see something on the horizon. You see what looks like a piece of a dwarf. You get a little bit closer, and you see that there are this mangled dwarf missing an arm and a leg completely, blood splattered over the snow, telltale signs of something savage having ripped this creature apart. But then you also see there are set tracks that peel away towards the northeast as well. 2 large sled tracks and multiple footprints. What would you like to do?
I suggest we follow the sled tracks.
Does it look like a Yeti? Can you tell if there's Yeti prints?
Anybody who would like to can make a survival check.
Can I just assist Sakia by pointing at things and saying, "Is that a Yeti track?"
Sure. Sure.
Do I get advantage?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm 6. Did I roll it twice or once? Oh, I did roll it twice. It's not very good.
Natural
Not
20.
very good. So that's pretty good. All right, so Barris, Defect, and Miro, I would say. Thakia, you would notice you kind of are hyper-focused on the Yeti tracks themselves, and you realize that whatever killed this dwarf was indeed the Yeti, and you are tracking its footprints as they head off towards the south. The rest of you are looking in particular towards the northeast, and you would gather, specifically with Defect's role, you get the sense that this sled was pulled by a large polar bear, and there are enough footprints to say maybe about 6 humanoid creatures of small variety. With that roll, I would say, Defect, you would recognize the footprints as being goblin.
Goblins. That's what I say. And,
The Yeti.
and a polar bear.
The Yeti went down that way. We're lucky it's not traveling in the same direction. let's go find that sled and the ingots.
Okay.
Right. So continuing on.
Never fought a goblin.
Might be too small for you.
I will eat it. I will punch it with my hands.
So continuing on for another few hours through the cold, through the snow, tracking this large sled. You continue on for a bit, and as you round and crest this hill, maybe about a few 100 feet away, you see this large, actually, I might have a picture for you. You see this large, almost like multi-story sled with a polar bear harnessed to the front of it. You see the goblins are struggling to move this sled out from being stuck in the snow. It looks as though it is held fast. It's stuck completely, and they're struggling to move it. Let me see if I have actually a picture for you. I might. There we go.
Nope. There.
Two polar bears are pulling this huge sled. Its thick wheels are now lodged in the snow itself.
Looks pretty cool.
And there are about 6 goblins who are attempting to free it, attempting to move it. What would you like to do?
Can I try to sneak up on him? Is it possible?
Absolutely, yeah. So, are you trying to actually move in and get closer?
Yeah, I would like to get really close. As close as I can
preoccupied.
Go ahead and make a stealth check.
Yeah, I might even. Yeah, okay. I'll just tell everybody I'm gonna try to get closer.
I'll cast guidance on him.
Okay, sounds good. So you feel a little bit better at what you're doing. Go ahead and make your stealth check.
Can I get out a D4? That guidance?
Yeah, but it's just a 1. So.
Oh, you
already rolled a 23, but I helped. I'm helping.
So.
I helped.
still pretty good. Still pretty good. So incredibly quiet. Tavis slinks off towards these creatures. I'll go ahead and move you to a different map. And you get within a bit, you see these goblins are struggling to move this gigantic structure. And Tavis, you could probably put yourself, you guys can all put yourself back towards, probably back here, back behind this berm.
Are these 5-foot squares or?
They are, and man, I don't know why, but the tokens they all come into view like really tiny. Yeah. I don't understand exactly why. Sorry about that. There you go. All right. And who are we missing?
Where do I get to? Oh, Miro's not here yet. Okay.
Wait, I don't have to. I can do it.
Go to your journal.
Yeah, you do.
You gotta drag your token out there.
Did I not? Yeah, I should have access to it. If you go to your journal, you can just drag.
For some reason, I have Miro defect in me, but nobody.
I also have Miro defect.
I don't. I see Tavis, Baris, and defect. And
everybody can move my token.
What? Okay, hold on.
I don't understand what you mean by drag my token on there. In my journal, there's me.
You just click on your name and you
the name and drag it onto the.
Yeah.
Click and drag.
Gotcha. Then how do you make it huge?
Ian, I think we'll do that for you.
I don't understand why they're so small. But I'll have to do it for you every time.
There's a token to the right.
All...
There's I don't know whose token this is. So I see one right here.
Oh, somebody dragged it once already.
Oh, hey, that was Mira. Yeah. There we go. I'm going. Okay, so you kind of are huddled behind this berm as Tavis kind of slinks upward. What exactly would you like to do, Tavis?
Well, where am I? I want to. Yeah, I guess I want to get up here. Can I see if the polar bears are tied down right now? Right, like so
they're hitched. Yeah, they're. In fact, go ahead and make a perception check as you're kind of like slinking over and just kind of observing the sled for a moment. Nice. Okay. So as you're taking a look, these goblins are all like, yeah, I told you we wouldn't be able to move with this iron. God, pull, damn you! And like, one of them kind of starts whipping at the polar bear, and immediately the polar bear takes a swipe at the goblin. Bastards! Pull, damn you! No, that way, not towards me. Arguing with the polar bears, trying to goad them into motion. As one of the polar bears is struggling against the strains, against the straps, but is unable to move this thing, and all of these goblins are, all of them, trying to dig this thing out from the snow, as it seems to be too heavy.
Ian, okay, so what I want to do is I want to get as close as I can, where I can still be hidden, and watch, and then wait until it looks like maybe they spot one of the rest of the group, and then I want to be able to jump in and attack somebody.
Okay, so...
Well, I mean, I don't know how close I can get. How close can I get and still be hidden?
You could probably, certainly get within this area over here on the hillside. Yeah, you could probably get as close as the hill and stay completely hidden.
Okay.
And while he's doing that, I'm gonna start walking towards the goblins and yell at them and say, "Did you take?"
Okay, so as soon as she yells that, or as soon as she says anything, I want to. I'm hidden from their view too, right? So these guys, my team's view as well. Theoretically, like as soon as they. Yeah. So
as soon as you left the line of sight from your teammates.
Yeah. So then as soon as I hear anything, I want to use phase step and just appear next to this guy and stab him.
Okay, all right. So with that said, let's go ahead and roll initiative.
Ian, do you think I get a surprise attack? I'm just saying.
Oh, you certainly would. Yeah, they're completely oblivious.
All right, cool.
Oh no, are these not linked tokens anymore?
Just make sure you click on your token before you hit roll.
I rolled a 2.
Wait a minute.
No, I rolled a 2.
No, I rolled a 2.
I have a plus 2.
These are not linked tokens anymore. Oh, it's terrible.
Well, you get to stab someone.
It's barely like it's basically just like I rolled high. It's like I rolled high. Same difference.
Oh man, this is going to be awful. Okay, so apparently Roll20 doesn't link this module's tokens anymore. That's freaking annoying. Okay, what? Sorry, I will have to pull up their tokens somewhere else. Normally, Roll20 was very convenient about all this stuff. They had the tokens listed with the character pages, so all I had to do was click the tokens and it would pull up. But
oh, that's cool.
Yikes, not anymore. Hang on.
Oh, you know what?
Give me just a second.
Did you load all the books?
Is it a setting?
You're talking about like when you go to a monster, it has a character sheet in there. That's missing.
Yeah.
I remember when I had it was missing for me at first when I did Frost Giant. I had to go load like some books in the Roll20 settings somewhere. Let me see if I can find it and link it where I found it. That happened to me though. Let's see here. I'm gonna load my game.
next restore from really using the wing, and you shoot us over.
Yeah.
Pleasure.
I think this is it. You might want to. I think this is it. Let me link this in the Discord chat. If you go to your game settings, I think you have to make sure that that's selected for.
Okay. I'll play around with that later.
Yeah.
I'll go.
But I had that problem too.
Have it the
Man, that pie was so easy to make. Why is it taking me this long to realize?
So good.
Came out great. I don't know why. It's so basic. Leave some for me. I'm going very loud. Everyone else is dead.
All right. So, with all that said, I would say that you all would have a chance of getting a surprise round in. They don't see you coming. I would say surprise round ends with Thakia as she starts to yell out, but you all can kind of choose to do something or not if you want to. And Thakia would start the first round, essentially. So, with that, Miro, you see him sneaking up. Would you have done anything in advance before he starts combat?
Yeah, other than draw my weapon, and I think I would. Oh, 1 second here. There is like a raw mechanics thing I wanted to ask you about, Ian, but that can happen later. Since I took my second level in Wizard, I don't start with a spell book, so I'm going to have to buy one other than my cantrips. So I think until I actually get enough money to buy a spell book or whatever I'm going to use as my spell book, I don't have access to my first level spells as a wizard at this point in time. So
got it. I would say for the purpose of this, since you were in the Arcane Brotherhood, they would have probably have gifted a spell book to you.
Fantastic.
I would say, yeah, that's probably a freebie. So if you can, you might have to spend some, like if you have already documented your spells in your spell book, assuming that would be like the things that you've been studying in advance.
Mm-hmm.
I think we could totally say that that's okay.
Okay, well then I would like to summon a familiar.
Nice.
Or I would have summoned a familiar.
Okay, what does your familiar look like?
I believe from the list available, I would choose Owl.
You got it. Let's see if...
And they don't occupy a whole space. They actually, familiars are considered tiny, so they can actually occupy the same space that you're in if necessary. I don't know if that is going to help or hinder you as far as like sizing goes for the little token.
Yeah. Okay. Let me see. Is there a way that I can make it so you can control this? Yes. All right. So I'm going to put this in your journal.
Fantastic.
And you can control it. Should be now. So can you control the token?
Yes, I can.
Perfect. All right. So you are all set. You have summoned your familiar. It is available to you.
All right. I'll have to come up with a name later.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to do?
Yeah. I will cast False Life on myself.
Nice.
That's just going to get here. I'll just link it in the channel here. Oh, no, that's, I forget. What is it? Display in VTT? Forget how to show it to you.
Yeah.
There we go. You can read what False Life does. It's just adding some hit points from myself. Buffing myself up, essentially. So I will make 1d4 plus 4.
Right. So you will watch as Miro kind of extends his hand, says a few words, and there is an aura of dark energy that surrounds him, seeming to create almost like an invisible shield of necromantic energy. Anything else you want to do?
Since I'll use my action to cast False Life, I'll move.
Go for it. And then Varys, you're on deck.
Okay.
All right, Varys, you are up. What would you like to do?
Let's see here. Right now, it's probably just move. My speed is 35.
You're so fast. Woody Elf.
What else? Yeah.
I'll just move right here. And look at my spells. Nothing right now. No. That's my movement.
Okay. So the polar bears are all straining against their harnesses, but unable to do anything at the moment. The goblins, at this point, kind of see you and are like, "Ah! Creatures! And they are armed, but they don't have a turn. So, Defect, you're up. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna move for now. 30 feet. And that's it. That's good.
One more thing about that owl, Ian, is it actually needs its own initiative. It takes its own turn.
Oh, yeah, I got it. That's right. If you can, go ahead and roll an initiative for it. Yeah, is that the 15?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Okay. For now, it's just Owl.
Works
That's
for
his
me.
name. All right. All right. So, Tavis, you it's your turn. So you said you are misty stepping in.
Now the situation is a little bit different. So then, yeah, I guess. Yeah, I guess I'd probably just run over here and hide behind this bush.
Okay.
Can I hide over here?
Say so. Go ahead and make a stealth check. Wait, did you move your guy off the map?
Me? No.
No, he's right at the edge.
He's right here.
Oh, I see. Got it. Okay, you feel kind of hidden. Feel reasonably hidden.
Okay.
All right, Thakia, your turn. What would you like to do?
She is like running over at these goblins, full tilt, screaming, "You goblins, God, thieving cheaters! I'm gonna kill you all!" And she's gonna attack and come up here.
All right, so just full tilt, sword outstretched, running across the snow.
Yeah.
All right.
Very intimidating, screaming, prepare to die kind of a fashion.
Gotcha. Did you want to do anything? Any bonus actions?
Well, I dashed.
No bonus action.
Oh, you dashed. Okay, got it.
Dash is a bonus action.
Dash is an action.
Dash, no action. Oh, dash an action.
Do you want to rage?
Yeah, I want to rage. Yeah, I thought bonus action.
Got it.
I thought that was my dash. I forgot.
You don't have bonus action dash.
All right.
Maybe later.
I'm so angry. Like,
I'm
so mad. I am so excited to fight these guys.
That one didn't cut it. I need to cut real things.
I seem. I am like unhinged.
You got it.
Leroy Jenkins, run in.
Miro, you just watched as Thakia just hurdles herself over this berm and is just running full tilt towards the goblins. What are you doing?
Thakia, wait up. I think it's best if we coordinate our attacks. And I move up. You join Thakia and the mad dash.
Coordinate attacks. Not how I roll. Yeah.
And let's see. I would like to ready an action. I'm gonna ready just a melee attack with my sword for anything that comes in range.
Okay, you got it. You would have had a turn with your owl as well. So if you want to kind of retcon that a little bit and take an initial turn, you would
Sure. I'm just gonna have
definitely be able
him
to move it where you want to.
move forward here. That's
Okay, you got it. All right, Boris,
Oh,
you see them.
All right.
Ian, I have cunning action for hide. Can I also ready an attack with my action in case someone comes near me?
All right.
Sure. So like, you're holding an action essentially.
Yeah, exactly. Because
Yeah,
I can cunning
absolutely.
action hide.
All right. So I
You
moved.
got it.
I moved right
No
here,
problem
and this guy's within 30 feet. So I want to cast Tasha's hideous laughter on this guy.
Hideous laugh.
at all. All right, that's a wisdom save.
Yeah, I have to do a wisdom 14. And
That's a -1, and he rolled a 5. Doesn't fail.
so he just collapses on the ground. And he's finding everything funny to him.
Yeah. So you all watch as this like kind of thicker goblin than the others, like the one that seems to be in charge, bullying the others around, starts to go. And just collapses on the ground in a fit of galeful laughter. Is there anything else you want to do?
I moved and did that. Those are my two actions.
All right, you got it. So polar bears continue to
Which
drain.
which one did he target? I missed. I was looking away for a second.
This one.
Here, yeah, it's that one.
You put a little
I'll
mark
go
on
ahead
it.
and mark it.
Is there a little laughter icon? So the guy's
If only.
so he's prone right now.
Indeed. So I will say, I'll give him a snail. There we go. He is prone and he's laughing hysterically. Oops, he's not dead though. There we go. All right. One of the polar bears, you hear this snapping creak sound from the wood. You hear a splintering from the sled itself, and you can see one of the polar bears start to take off running off into the wilderness. The other one is still straining against his harness. That's their turn done. Owl's turn.
Owl's turn. All right. Well, I call out to the owl. Go fly in that dude's face, and he's gonna run forward. And owls, I don't know if you saw it on the description there, have the ability called Flyby. It says owls don't provoke opportunity attacks when it flies out of an enemy's reach. And they have a flight speed of 60, so I'm going to fly him. And then use my action with the owl as help action, so it should grant me an advantage on the next attack, making it against this gentleman, or this goblin person. And then I'm going to have the owl fly away. So, here.
Beautiful, beautiful. So you see, like, kind of flailing around as the owl, like, flaps in its face, like, and then it takes off. It seems to be completely distracted and won't see you coming. All right, goblins' turns. This one, so it looks like they are preoccupied with Thakia here, as she is the loudest of all of this group. Let's see.
Bring it on, goblins!
Goblins are very smart.
Goblins
Attacking
are down!
the barbarian doesn't seem like the.
Okay, we'll say for the purpose of this, one of them is going to attack you, Miro.
I'm sorry, did this go to a new round, or do I have my attack ready?
Oh, were you holding an attack?
I was holding an attack, yeah.
Yeah,
my
then
first
absolutely.
action with Miro.
Go ahead and make your attack for sure. And yeah, the one that you have advantage on is this one here.
Fantastic. Then I'll go ahead and I'll take my attack against that goblin fool who came in too close.
What?
Definitely hits, and that's enough to take this thing out completely. So you see it's like blindly running after the owl and just misses the fact that this huge sword carves into it, searing or separating the body itself in grotesque ways. But you, as you cleave into it, it's, oh man, you splatter a bunch of red onto the snow itself. Yeah, my descriptions are not as good as they used to be. I'm
Thank you. Do you
sleepy,
see
guys. I'm
Me
sorry.
and the owl, we coordinated our attacks. It went well.
Beautiful. All right. These other goblins are going to go ahead and start to make some attacks on Thakia. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Thakia, does a 16 hit?
It does.
It does. Okay. Does it 11 hit?
No, it does not.
Okay. So 2 attacks, and you are raging. So you would take 10 damage total, half to 5.
I will take it and laugh.
All right. Defect's turn is up.
All right. I am going to whip out something that you haven't seen, and then I will cast Guiding Bolt at this goblin next to Barris. If I can manage to do that.
Got it. And Barris, just to double check for your Tasha's Hideous Laughter, the end of each turn. Okay, so
The description's in the chat.
yeah, the end of each of its turns. So it will go ahead and take another check to see if it's still laughing. Nope, it is laughing terribly, and it is unable to move.
It's like, I'm going to die.
So I rolled a 18 to hit on the Guiding Bolt.
Definitely hits. Go ahead and roll damage.
It rolled the damage at a 10 damage.
Out of 10. Okay. So you watch this like searing bolt of radiant light just hit the goblin in the chest and completely melt away its flesh. Its limbs kind of pop off, head pops off, legs are left over, smoldering wreck. This thing is completely destroyed.
Cool. I'll just take like one step closer and end my turn.
All right, you got it. Tavis, you're up. What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna. Becca is laughing on the ground. Can I get here? Hold on. Let me just, what's the distance? Yeah, I'll probably. I can't move. Yeah, okay. I'm just gonna walk up to this guy and stab him.
Okay. With advantage because he's prone.
24?
24 for
hits.
10.
All right, for 10 damage. So, not dead, but a solid strike as you pierce his flesh. And for a brief moment, the laughter stops. But then the laughter continues as he is still stuck.
It failed to throw again.
It failed to save. Yeah, it sure did.
And then I
right.
can attack. I can attack again. Yeah, but then I don't get the second attack. I don't get the proficiency bonus, right?
Correct.
Yeah, but you would still get advantage though.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Yeah. Okay. I'll make another attack. It's fine. Too.
All right, so that's another 9 points of damage. Is that right?
No, I don't think so. I don't think I get the full. I don't know.
Oh, right.
D6 was
These
a
are five
5.
damage.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. Easy enough. So still standing, but now at this point it is incredibly hurt each time. Again, as another stab goes through its gut, like stops laughing briefly, eyes glaring up at you, and this time the laughter ceases entirely as it gets ready to prepare itself to fight.
Okay.
Anything else you want to do? Oops.
No. I guess I use my actions and my bonus action. I'm good.
All right. Thakia, you're up.
Yes, I am going to attack this one right here with a huge screaming descent of my battle axe.
Nice.
I hit him for
Dash.
6.
For 6 points, barely hanging on.
D12, yeah.
So you essentially, this creature has attempted to strike out at you, and with one quick movement, you lock the arm off completely. It's death's door. It's like holding the stump of its limb. It's almost dead, but it's still hanging on.
I wanted him to live so we could fight more.
Miro, you're up. Or is there anything else you want to do? Any bonus actions or anything?
Nope.
Okay. I'm just curious, did it add your rage damage? It did,
The
right?
+2? No, it did not.
It did not.
No, it
okay,
doesn't.
so
It doesn't. So it you get 2
There's an
more.
option. If you click the Beyond 20 icon, you can select the toggle switch to say that you're raging. It should put rage damage into the calculation.
What's the
nice. Okay.
In the bottom right of roll 20.
Ah.
So in Beyond 20, like if you're looking at your character sheet, there's a little Beyond 20 icon at the top next to share, short rest, long rest.
Yep. Custom damage?
There should be an option for
I
character
see it.
specific.
I see it.
Yeah.
Add rage. Yeah. You are raging. Ah.
Yeah.
Sweet. So with that is enough. You manage, we'll say, a follow-up strike, stabbing downward into this creature, while it's preoccupied with its stump. That is enough to
I wanted to
tank
kill
it.
him so I could see him bleed.
Perfect. Miro, you're up. What would you like to do?
I think we're going to go for a straight ahead attack here with the big old two-handed sword on the goblin nearest me.
Go for it.
See if I can one-up Thakia in the amount of blood splattered on the snow here.
I like your style, Miro. We're going to be great friends.
13 to hit.
All right.
I think it's enough for a goblin. If I remember my goblins.
Yeah, these do not have shields. That is enough. So quickly, a horizontal slash removes that goblin head. You can see it flying through the air as it rolls around.
Did you see that?
Well done. The next
All
one
right,
is
Barris,
mine.
there is 2 more to go. What would you like to do, Barris?
Let's see here. Go there. I don't have anything ranged, so I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm just curious. I'm just gonna see if I could cast animal friendship on the polar bear. Right. This one, yeah.
Nice. All right. What is the...
Put it in the chat. This spell lets you convince the beast that you mean no harm. Choose a beast that you see within range, 30 feet. The beast must succeed on a saving throw or be charged by the spell's duration. And it says a 14 wisdom saving throw, just like the goblin.
But it also says if the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails.
Yeah.
So sorry if you already said that. My bad.
Yeah, I see that. I don't know what the polar bear is.
Yeah.
Not a 4.
Got it. Not a 4. Yeah, no worries there. So a shimmering effect extends from your hand as you cast this spell. The bear, however, is just incensed, enraged at being harnessed in such a way, and you can see it's still attempting to break the bonds, and it's barely able to even concentrate on you as it seems to resist your effect.
All right. Let's just try. Now it's my
No, that was a good idea. That would have been awesome.
Come on, polar
All
bear.
right, let's see.
I want to ride you.
All right, the polar bear is still struggling at the moment against the bonds. Owl's turn. Anything you want to do?
Yes, the owl would, again, like to go fly in the face of this goblin here, granting whoever attacks them next advantage. And it's just that fly
Perfect. All right.
right in its face, and then reposition just a little bit here.
You got it. And this goblin here is attempting to flee. So, Thakia, you watch as this goblin, seeing the carnage, you and Miro have just completely have shown, essentially. It is going to turn tail and run. So, if you would like to, you can get a attack of opportunity.
With advantage?
With advantage, yeah.
Do it 2 times.
Oh, no. So, no, that is not enough. So, as distracted as it was by the owl, its sense of self-preservation was a bit higher, and it manages to get its sword up just in time to deflect your great sword attack, and this creature is gonna bolt. As it runs by, it says, "Not worth it! Not worth it! Run! It's too strong!" And this one over here sees its friend running and is going to stand up, realizing that it's not going to be able to run quite as far, but it is going to go ahead and attempt to run. Come back, you coward!
Get it.
Tavis, if you would like to, you can go ahead and make an attack of opportunity as well.
Yes, I will. And this one, don't get advantage, so it's not going to be a lot.
But you hit him.
That's enough, I think.
That is enough. Yeah, you wouldn't. Oh no, you would definitely get it. No, it wouldn't be advantage, so you don't get the sneak attack damage.
I don't
right?
get no sneak attack.
That's
Yeah,
9. That is just enough. So as it starts to get up and start to run away, sword point extends through its gut and it falls down, collapses. All right. Defect. Anything else you want to do as the last goblin makes for the horizon?
Let's see if he's in range of. Might be able to cast another guiding bolt. I will do
I
that.
love killing guys as they're like just
Right,
about
right.
to make a getaway. Nope. Instead, he's Ash.
Yeah. Not this time.
Nice.
That is enough. So almost off in the distance, you kind of like long shot it. You said like you lob the bolt just a bit, and as this goblin form, you watch as he just gets splattered against the ground by this radiant energy and dies. Okay, well done, you guys. So technically we are out of combat now, depending on what you're doing with the polar bear. As you still watch it, it is straining against its harness. What would y'all like to do?
Someone should go calm it down.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to do that.
I tried.
It's this one here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's out there. The other one is long gone. You see it's trailing chunks of wood and timber as the front left half of this sled is snapped off. This one is
So-
gone.
I'm going to cast guidance on myself, and then try to calm it.
Ooh, a 4.
Nice. So go ahead and make an animal handling check.
Ooh.
24. Nice. Easy enough. You all watch as Defect slowly walks up to this creature. Starts speaking just soothing words, constant speech coming out of it. Essentially just no matter what, it doesn't matter what he's saying, as long as it is progressive, it's the same tone, and slowly you watch the polar bear kind of slump downward and feel a little bit more relaxed than you had been before.
I'm gonna help see if we can get this big sled unstuck, so we can get it back to the to town.
Okay, go ahead and make an athletics check. If you want to do it yourself.
Can I assist?
You sure could, yeah. So either make it with advantage, or you could both make a separate roll.
She could do it at advantage.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, you have advantage on athletics, generally?
Oh no! Oh, it rolled it. Did it roll it with it?
Yeah,
It did.
Here,
Oh, because you have
You're
athletics checks
still
with...
selecting that you're raging.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you're
I-
raging.
I'm not
Depending on
sure.
how long.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but if you hold down Shift and click a skill, it will roll it as advantage. If you hold Control and click a skill, it'll roll it as disadvantage.
Oh.
Like you see
Yeah,
the little icon
wow.
change to like a plus and a minus.
So it's shift.
Well-
I always forget which one it is though. It's shift for advantage.
Yeah.
Yeah,
If you hold over
Got
a
it.
skill in D&D Beyond, and you see it turn into a green plus.
Isn't it weird that it's a separate function though, because it's functionally the same whether it's advantage or disadvantage?
I know, right?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, you just look at it differently.
Yeah,
That's
ignore this. I'm just going to roll this for fun. This is me rolling with advantage, and this is rolling me with a disadvantage.
I
Yeah,
guess
I can't really tell.
Probably the same.
It puts a little circly thing around the one, like this one is in brackets.
Oh yeah, it does.
It puts
That's
the
why.
best or
Brackets
worst
are in
in
the-
brackets.
Yeah, I don't know why either, but your guys' this particular game's windows are different than the ones I have. Mine's are like more decorative and a little easier to read, from my opinion. I don't know why it looks like this for yours, or even how to change it.
Yeah.
Well, I rolled a 21.
Okay,
No,
so Thakia,
13.
where you had seen these goblins struggling before, you managed to lift the thing up. This sled is heavy. You estimate it's approximately, you've lifted heavy things before. It's about 900 pounds based on the weight, and it is intense. But it doesn't take much, as you just need to get it over this rock that it had been wedged into. You lift it up just enough to get the thing mobile again, and one polar bear seems to be just enough to kind of slowly start to move this thing along at a very slow pace, but nevertheless, it seems to be possible for it.
Could we use this polar bear to bring it back? We didn't bring any way to drag this thing.
You certainly could, yeah. With Defect kind of tending to the polar bear, I'd say absolutely. You can make your way back with the entire cart.
I'll stay with the bear.
And a polar bear friend.
I have a couple pounds of rations. One of them includes jerky. Can I give him like a little bit of the jerky? Like, here, polar bear. We're friends.
Sure, it welcomes it too. Like it
Yeah.
snuffles at your food and just.
All right, so I gave him 2 pounds of jerky, according to like my little thing here.
Nice.
I am worried that these dead bodies and all the blood may draw some unwanted attention our way, so I just want to be on the lookout for potential danger coming in our way. Looking for meat.
Okay. As you're kind of observing specifically up into like the mountainous areas, the hills, just kind of looking around. At the moment, you don't see anything dangerous. But we'll
All right.
keep that in mind. Is there anything else you guys want to do?
Can this looks like it's the thing of ingots?
I guess we should check the sled and see what's in it.
Yeah. Can we look in the sled?
Yeah, as you look inside, you do. You see the ingots are stamped with what looks like... Oh, I mentioned it. Lost it. Okay, so you find there are approximately 300 of these iron ingots, each each wrapped in like their own individual burlap, and as you look at each one of them, they all seem to be stamped with like a foaming mug symbol. And you have found them. That seem to be 300, and they seem to be intact. In addition, you also find what look like there are 2 potions that are lined and wrapped in like a sealskin pouch. And then there is, well, we'll say for the sake of it, there is some amount of money on the boss's person as well. You find 13 silver and 25 copper. And you also find a bone whistle.
I would like to cast Detect Magic as a ritual, if we've got the time for it. It takes 10 minutes. Just to go ahead and make sure nothing we've picked up or found here is magical. Or is or is not magical.
You got it. So after you take a few minutes, like as everybody's kind of going through the items, checking out the ingots, kind of going through the dead bodies, as you cast your spell, the pouches that you have picked up, the sealskin pouch with some sort of blue fluid inside, they do glow with a magical aura. You get the sense that they are an abjuration aura.
Which things are blue?
The potions.
The potions.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to try and analyze this for the rest of the party here at some point. Doesn't have to be now. Maybe when we get back to town, I've got my little chemistry set and everything else. Perhaps I can determine what they do.
While he's casting that, I'll cast Speak with Animals as a ritual, so I can better soothe the polar bear.
Nice.
Just ask him how he's doing. If he or she has a name.
Better now. I was hungry. My
How
name is
big are these?
Grok.
I'm sorry.
Grew up.
No, it's okay. Grok.
It's awesome. That's awesome.
I appreciate polar bear has a name.
Uh-huh.
My eyes are on you.
How big are these ingots? They're like coin sized?
Oh, big.
Probably be large.
Yeah, larger, like thick slabs or so.
Right.
We're gonna notice.
Just want to know.
Yeah, I'd say each ingot is about 2 pounds, so they're not terribly big, but they're like these thin bars of pure iron.
Pure iron. Yeah, I don't care that much about this, I don't think.
Stamped with.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Stamped.
Keep an eye on you.
You don't know. For all
I
you
wasn't
know.
watching it all.
For all you know, I'm a famous doctor.
Yeah, famous doctor.
That's good times. So I will say, if there's nothing else in particular you guys want to do with this, we'll kind of. Sorry, is there? I should ask, I guess. Is there anything in particular you want to do here?
I'll just I'll ask the polar bear if there were any yetis besides the one that, or anything dangerous or anything that it saw recently around.
And kind of like snuffles and says like, no, I didn't see the yetis, just saw what it ate. I'm kind of glad. Try to stay away from those things.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're kind of nice. You smell funny, though. You don't smell like another human.
Human.
Nope. No, I don't. You smell
All right.
great.
You feel great.
Thanks.
That's
Right.
it.
Okay. So you guys all make your way slowly back to Bryn Shander with the slowly moving sled, and I think that is a good spot to stop for today. So well done, folks. We'll pick it back up next time. I guess not on April 4th, right? But on...
Yeah, it's Easter. I was going to do some stuff with fam.
Sure. So April 11th looks like the next time. Yeah. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah. And what's the right time? Is 10:30 the right time?
I could
Works
start.
for me.
I could start earlier if people want to or not.
Eventually, I can start earlier. Probably next. Well, it's gonna depend. It's gonna cut it close with stuff. So like.
No, all good. I was
Yeah,
trying to make sure that we had, because it was 10:30, which it
was the change. Yeah, Ian changed it for me.
Yeah.
So.
What time is it for you right now in Switzerland? Or wherever you guys are at, I don't even remember anymore.
Well, so we're 10:30 to 7:30, which is okay, right? Yeah, it depends on how long we're gonna play in a day, right? So if it's gonna be 3 hours, no problem. If it's 4 hours, starts to get late.
It's almost 11 now. It's 10:50.
Yeah. So that's the only thing that matters for us.
Well, yeah. So I guess this is a good question for all of you. Like, what kind of length of sessions would you guys like to see?
3-4 hours is pretty good for me.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah. As long as we don't go over 4 hours, I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figured around 2-ish would be fine. Like 3.5 hours would be pretty reasonable.
Yeah.
Does that seem okay?
Yeah, that's totally fine. So if we want to start at your 10:30 and finish at 2, that's totally good.